Let's delve in a little bit to some of the things that you've said in the last couple of slides. So I've brought back the options that we had before and the little pictures, and I erased a bunch of stuff, and then I made a change. Do you see the change?
You got rid of the word. Oh, yes. I was going to say you got rid of the word options, but you actually changed the word state into goal.
Well, that wasn't what it used to say in the title. It didn't say state abstraction, although I did write state abstraction at some point.
Oh, it had temporal abstraction.
That's right. So what I want to point out, you asked the question before we did the quiz. You said, well, wait, are these things all happening at the same time? Or are they happening like one after, how does this work? Well, you touched on something kind of neat there, right? Which is we have talked about so far this kind of options thing as if they're just primitive actions, right? You take one, then you take the other, you take the other. In other words, we've talked about sequencing. And that's perfectly reasonable, and that's really what we've been talking about in everything that we've talked about in this class. But when you ask whether the things could be running at the same time or whether we're trying to accomplish all these at once, we're really talking about something different, which is goals. So I'm going to claim that although we've been focusing on sequencing, which makes sense, right? We're talking about sequential decision processes, right? That's like the whole point of what we're doing. You could think about these things as running in parallel. Although we talk about, well, first I'm going to take the option of go to the east door, and then I'm going to execute the option go to the south door, and then I'm going to go down, left, or whatever I'm going to do. You could conceptualize this as actually all the options are running at the same time. So I am always trying to go to the east door, the south door, the other south door, the other east door, and at any given time, one of them is in control. I mean, conceptually, that's no different, really, right?
Maybe. I mean, I guess it sounds like what you're describing is a little bit like a call stack in computer languages. The idea that sure, while we're going after that first goal of getting to the east door in the northeast room, in the back of our minds is the idea that the reason we're doing that is so that we can do these other goals next.
No, I don't. I actually mean something a little bit different. So imagine I had a bunch of things running in parallel. Like imagine we had a thing called a computer. Right? And the computer did many things at once. So it was recording, it was printing, it was letting some program compile in the background while the user was editing. From the computer's point of view, right, the way we think about these things is these things are all sort of running at the same time. But at least with respect to any individual processor, only one thing can be happening at the same time. So we can write down everything as if it's happening in sequence. But in some sense, it's happening in parallel, or they're all fighting for resources at the same time, but only one of them can be in control at any given point in time. So even though the world is sequential, we think about executing an option, then executing another option, it's a reasonable way of thinking about the world, but there's another kind of conceit one could take, which is all of these things want to run. They all want to happen at the same time. They're constantly saying, take me, take me, take me. I want to have control of the mouse, or I want to control the screen, or whatever. And we're just choosing which one to let go. So they're still running at the same time. They're just not in control at the same time and aren't able to do anything. Once you do that, you end up thinking, or you can end up thinking about this problem of temporal abstraction as not one of sequencing things directly, but as one of managing competing goals.